what were you listening to when you were 14?
Well, it was a very impressionable time for me, and I left school a year after that. I walked out of school, so 14, probably still a lot of glam stuff, T-Rex, David Bowie. Thank God for radio. Some radio shows like John Peel and stuff, which I would listen to with my little transistor radio at night in bed.
I love that.
He used to play great stuff, and things. He exposed me to things that I would never have heard if I just listened to regular radio. To be honest, right around that time, which was 1977, something like that, punk rock came along, and bands like The Damned. I was probably most impressed by The Damned. Mm-hmm. Out of all the bands, they had the biggest impression on me. I actually joined the Damned fan club.
Do you have a button?
I did. I got a button, and you also received like a rubber bat.
Uh-huh. Let's hear a little bit of Behind the Wheel. This is the Vince Clarke remix edit from the new Depeche Mode CD. This is Soundcheck. I thought it was really interesting that Vince Clarke, who later was one of the original members of Depeche Mode, he's there, and also Alan Wilder has done a song. How was it working with your old bandmates? This is the first time that you've collaborated again.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. Well, Vince's version of Behind the Wheel, I thought was actually particularly good. I think he really brought out some things in the song, some melodies and some new ideas that maybe weren't there in the first place, But and Alan, really kind of did his sort of recoil treatment as well on the track that he worked on, and just brought a lot of his kind of like filmic qualities to the song, which is something that Alan did when he was in the band, So.
I understand. I think it was your 2003 solo debut, Paper Monsters, where you first started doing your own songwriting. Is that correct?
Yeah, I really sort of. That's the first time I sort of really came out of the closet with, I'd been wanting to write for many, many years and had been, but was kind of like in the shadow of Martin always, and felt, didn't really feel kind of like I had the opportunity to get my ideas out there, and. It was not because Martin wasn't allowing that. It was just that I was probably too intimidated by the fact he had written all these great songs, and here I was with my couple of songs coming along. So it took a lot of kind of courage to come out of the closet with that, really.
Congratulations on being clean for more than 10 years. That's quite an accomplishment. What's it like for you to come out and talk about this stuff publicly? Is it difficult for you? I know there was a suicide attempt at one point.
Going back all those years, like when I think about that stuff now, I think most of it, I've talked about it, other people have talked about it, and those things like that, like the suicide and stuff like that, it's an attempt. I think really it was more a cry for help. I don't think I was in any state of mind to really make any decisions about my life at that particular time. And luckily I had a lot of people around me that, were trying to help me. And finally, I gave in. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got, with anything. And personally, I'm a very sort of strong-willed person. So I'm not gonna do anything until I'm ready to do it.
And how has the sobriety changed your approach to your music?
I mean, beyond my wildest dreams, really. I couldn't have imagined sort of 15 years ago that I would be having the opportunities and doing the things I am today musically. At the moment I'm writing with a friend of mine here in New York, Kurt. We've been writing some songs that will probably end up being Depeche songs, and also I've been writing a bunch of songs with Rich from Soul Savers, who did some shows with us last year, and we're getting to the point now with that where hopefully there'll be a record, I think, by the end of the year.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Dave Gahan, lead singer for Depeche Mode, for coming down and talking with us on Soundcheck today. I want to also just say that you look fantastic, and I know that you were featured in the New York Times in that photo spread in March, the godfathers of glam who can still rock a skinny suit. And I attest to the fact that I agree. Dave, thank you so much for coming down to Soundcheck. I'm Jacqueline Sincata. I've been in for John Schaefer today.